Hey guys, welcome back to modding Wretched cars in GTA 5. I'm Jonathan, your host, and today's car is the Benefactor Glendale. So this is a vintage looking sedan that doesn't have the most modding options here, but you can see I've decked it out with this terrible chrome finish with green accents, carbon wheels, high-end ones at that, and all of the performance adjustments that are available to all cars. So the aura, definitely on point here. I really dig it, and I think it's a cool looking car. I just would advise against customizing them with this color scheme because it is god awful, but it's part of the series to make these not look the best. Makes me less guilty about absolutely destroying them, which is always part of these videos, right? At least that's how it's become. So my journey trying to destroy this thing went pretty well. It's definitely a vehicle that can be used for destructive purposes, which is kind of part of the course of GTA, and so it passes in that sense. And overall, it's a pretty smooth ride. I wouldn't say it's zippy, but when you get it going, it's pretty good. Now, one of my favorite things is seeing all the parts of the car like just come off, and it didn't take long for that to happen. But to be fair, as you can see, I was putting it through its paces. You can see the trunk starting to pop loose, and overall, it's just it's going through a lot. Okay, it's going through a tough time, and once it gets up to speed, it's up to speed. It can get to a pretty reasonably high speed, right? And it'll just keep rolling along. Now, if you do choose to dedicate some garage space to this car, I would highly advise that you lower it, do all the tuning upgrades, turbocharge it, all that, because it makes it a lot better to drive, and to achieve the results I'm achieving here, you probably will need to do all of those things. Anyway, I got it going pretty fast, around 90 miles an hour, and braking is insane, like 3 seconds to brake from 80, like what? But the acceleration at 6.6 seconds is rather poor. I definitely have seen better in GTA, and it's just overall, this isn't going to be like a thrilling car to drive, but it's all around decent, and I feel like you're definitely pretty well, outrun the cops. Whereas in a Dundry Regina, yeah, that fucking sucks. Don't ever get a Regina. I would also say this car seems pretty light. I mean, look at this crazy sky roll, and look at that, it survived. Like, that's crazy to me. It turned over just fine, and even though my poor trunk lid definitely suffered dearly, it doesn't matter because my purple underglow is still shining bright, and one brake light should be enough, right? Actually, the more I drive this thing, the more I realize that if I ever am fortunate enough to have children, I'm going to name my first kid Glenn in honor of the Glendale. Why? Well, it's simple. Because even though this thing is kind of dorky, and it definitely is a little goofed up, it still keeps going no matter what adversity it encounters. And yeah, it might lose all of its doors and look pretty goofy as such. It probably will get bullied quite a bit in public, and its future may not be the brightest, but it still keeps kicking along, and I think that that's an admirable trait. So yes, Glenn is going to be my proud son, and he will be named after a car in the greatest game ever conceived. That's right, Grand Theft Auto 5. So anyway, in case it isn't obvious, I am not serious unless you want me to. But if not, forget I said anything. So I'd also like to provide a shout out for the front passenger door. It's still hanging along, unlike all the other doors. We love somebody who's in it for the long haul, so thank you. And look at this, guys. My bumper came off there, and it just glided along. I would say, this deserves high marks for durability. And as you can see, I am still going along here. At this point, I've been driving this thing for like 6 minutes. I've definitely cut down some, probably a little more than 6 actually. But like, I was very pleased, and I even got my my fourth door removed. So the hood, the trunk, and the doors all gone. think about how great this is for, you know, reducing weight, right? So I decided to back up here, and I thought I'd just see if I could, you know, get rid of that brake light, and then whoops. So I like the car, just don't drive it into the oil tank. Thanks for watching.